Good morning to you. So what we're going to do for this year's guitar build, a Les Paul Junior Special, a double cut. So it's going to be a 2 pickup P90s. When I'm making a guitar, I really like to get everything in place, all my materials. So I've got my neck blank by here, my body blank. Now normally, people who watch my channel will know that I use a 2-piece body and I join it up, and I always showed you that. But this body blank, I had to source from somewhere else because my normal supplier, Touchstone Tonewoods, wasn't able to have the stock at the time. But this blank came ready glued up, so it saved me a little bit of time. And it's a nice bit of wood. The same with the neck blank. Now normally I buy the neck blank just well oversized and I machine it up. But this one came with a headstock tape already put on. And it was no extra, it was no more expensive. So if you haven't got the facility and a big bandsaw to cut that, or feel confident enough to make that cut, because there is many things that can make it go wrong. You really want a new blade and one thing or another, and a blade that you haven't done cut any curves with, because it won't cut a straight line like that. So that was great bang. So I'll give it a go. My rosewood, absolutely beautiful piece of rosewood. This I've already pre-machined to just under 6mm. I've got everything else, from my switches to my pots to my bridge to my go-to tuners and the binding. Now I can't decide what binding to put on, so I bought 2. So I got a cream and a white. Now this Les Paul Junior, I've done one of these before for my YouTube channel. In fact, it was the very first guitar build that I filmed, and it was intended to be a documentary, silent. You just keep your eye on me and you just watch what I'm doing. I moved on a little bit now, whether it's for the better, I don't know yet. Because I quite like just cracking on with it and talking. The last one I did TV yellow with a white binding. If you haven't seen it, have a look at it. I think it's only a 30-minute film for the whole thing. It had proven very, very popular. But this one's going to be cherry red, or heritage cherry, something like that. And I think I'm going to put a cream binding on it. Now it's going to be based on a 5960 Les Paul Junior. Now I know the scratch plates change on them a little bit, and sometimes they finish short and they put a little neck filler in, but I don't like that neck filler, I'll be honest with you. So I'm probably gonna, it's gonna border more towards the 60s than the 59, but it's gonna be red. This template here is only for the outside of the body, because this is for a standard junior, not a special, which has 2 pickups. Drawing wise, I got a full set of plans for it, which I'll be doing on again. Not much, it's just a straightforward thing. It says. So anyway, this is what we're going to be doing. My buddy Oliver will be with me as much as he possibly can. It's getting difficult nowadays as he's getting older and he's got more things to do with. You know, we're from South Wales, so he's into his rugby now. Here we go, we'll just crack on with it. Let's see you in a bit. So this is an MDF template that I made I duplicated the plans and I stuck the body on here and then cut it out. So I'm just gonna use a pencil around this. So we just take it over the bandsaw, cut it out here and cut it out in one go, in sections. So what I've done now, I've routed off the template to I'm about halfway, maybe a tiny little bit over. Now if you've got a big router table, you could do it in a couple of passes. Don't go using these great big long router bits. I think they're too dangerous. I do. The speeds that the other router rotate, because you could almost cut that in one go. It's too much. You've got to do it in multiple passes. So where we are now, I'm halfway down. Now there's a couple of ways now that you're going to approach this. Just get my own faithful. I know a lot of people that think it's a small router and I'm killing it, but this router is 20 years old. Every guitar I've made, I've used it. I have got bigger ones, half-inch drives, but I just find I've got more control with this little one, doing it slowly, and that's what suits me. So you do what suits you, but you make sure it's safe. Now, I could put a longer bit in and carry on as I'm going. I ain't gonna do that because I'm not a fan of it. I can flip it over now, and with a top bearing router, or bottom, the way you look at it, bottom bearing router, this will follow the profile of what I've already routed, and I can carry on like that. But that's still a little bit too much for it. So now I can take the template off. It comes off easy enough because of the masking tape, and I can follow now the routing that I've already done off the template. So I'm back now that I'm only taking small chunks of it off, and that's the way I prefer to do it. If I run out of depth with this bit, I will change over for the very last pass, and I'm probably only going to be taking off about 2-3 mil. So that's the way I do it anyway, and you'll see it now as I carry on anyway. But there's the finished routed body. There's no burning on this wood whatsoever, so that's going to make it really easy to clean up. Shim on the bobbin sander now. Next thing, get back to working on the neck, then cut the neck pocket, finish the neck off, or I may not carve the neck, but certainly do the joint end of it, and I'll see you in a bit. Job done. I'm just going to take some tooling marks. It's pretty flat, mine, I gotta say it, off the where it's been cut. So I'm just going to take some tooling marks off. Make sure I keep that edge square by there, which will be where the nut is going to go. So I'm just going to give that a quick whiz over, and then we cut truss on, not slot. And then we mark him out to start marking the neck a little bit. The nut take off point, and then that'll be something like that. That's the end of the fingerboard. And use the truss rod. So we're going to route from here on the end of the truss rod right just through the headstock. Right, I'll set that back up. I'll set all that up and I'll get back to you. So what I did then, I just centered the router on my centre line just to double check, and I just dabbed it on the line to see how accurate I am this end and this end, because sometimes you can get it, you're on the line as you've come up, if your centre line ain't spot on. So I've just dabbed it on this. It's pretty good. I've only just marked the top of the wood, and now I'll write down. So all I did then was just rotate slightly wider for the nut end. So that's all done. Anyway, that's done. Next job now, start marking the neck out and laying it out. So I will see you in a bit. I'm gonna have a cup of tea. So what I've done now, the neck is roughly cut out. So I've marked now 45, we do 45, 50 mil from the end of the fingerboard. And that's going to be waist, that's going to be cut off. And this is the section that's going to be left to be glued in. And this is going to sit underneath the neck picker. So I'll rip that off now and we'll start routing the sides of the neck. So this is the template that came with the router set. So this was great for my fingerboard, and you can also use it for cutting the neck profile. But what I don't like about it is it's short, and we need to carry this angle along into the joint. So what I've done, I made a duplicate of it with a bit of MDF and just extended it a bit. So now when I run my router down, I can run right off the edge. So anyway, so the next thing now, we're going to whiz the router on the side. There's not a lot to take off. I've cut it pretty fine to the line, to be honest there. So I've cut it as close as I possibly can. Anyway, so I'll just router it now. See you in a minute. So what I've just done now, I just dropped 2 location pins through the fret slots, so when I come to glue it up it'll go back in exactly the same place. I'm just keeping away from the centre line a little bit. So I have a pile of glue going in the truss rod slot. Tight fit anyway, so leave that. Well, 3 or 4 hours. You probably don't need that long, but I'll leave that for a bit now, and I'll go back to you. Right, good morning to you. Let's take these clamps off now and have a little look. Right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to use these black rods.
Yeah.
These are 2 millimeters wide, and we're going to use them, drill an hole, alright, with the bracing bit. Hold on, not yet, now hold on. And we're going to stick it in, cut it off, and glue it up. Or the other way around.
Oh,
so,
the way around.
What we're going to do now, you've got to hold it like that. Right, now I've marked all these now, haven't I? Go on then. Slow, nice and slow, buddy. Go on, there we go. A little bit more, a little bit more. And then when it keep going, then when it goes black, that's it. See the wood now? The wood's coming out now. So turn it the other way, backwards. And we can pull it out there. Right, try them in for size.
Try it for size. 100% that fits.
100% it'll fit. So, there we go, you're back in now.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to put some glue on here. Right. I'll show you how to do the first one, and you can do the rest. You can do the rest, right? So normally I'd put super glue in this, but I don't want to use super glue because you were doing it.
Yeah.
Get the chopper, cut him off flush, right? Like that.
And
so
with
you
sander.
Oh, we aren't sanding him off yet. We've got to let the glue dry on me. Right. So just dip it in. Hold on a minute, love. You hold on. You've done it now.
Yeah.
You're a boy, aye. Oh no, no.
Because I know what to do. You told me before we started it.
Yeah, well done.
So I don't need help.
So let me just check.
So I don't get my...
Yeah, spin it round so you can get it round there.
So I don't get my t-shirt all wet.
Oh no, don't get on your new t-shirt. That'll kill me. Hold on, let me shove some glue in there. Go on then. Swish it around. Cut them off.
I swished it around, you don't need.
Right.
Because all the glue's coming on the stick more.
Hold on, let me put it. Oh, I can see that now, lad. You were right with that. So there must be a little bit of acetone in here because it's melting the plastic. Go.
Oh.
Right, go on then. Right, let's have a look. I'll do it now. That's enough.
One more.
Okay, so this is the template that I've been working off for the next socket. It's actually for a single cut, but it doesn't matter. Nice tight fit. And now, to try and find, because there was no centre line on it for me to line it up with my centre line on my body, it's tricky to get a centre line. Or it can be. So all you do, you strike some lines off the end of the pickups, because this pickup is going to be in the middle, either side, and then with a digital vernier you can calculate exactly where it's going to be in relation to the pickup. Now once you've done that, you can do the same thing with the neck. Strike a couple of lines off the side of the neck and then find the centre point there and mark it. So I had 3 markings now. I had 1 year, 1 year and 1 year, and then with a sturdy straight edge I struck a line. Then I carried the lines then off the tops of the template down the thickness of the template. That's really important. A lot of people don't do that and they lean over like that to line it up. Well, if you carry the line down, it's much easier to line it up. So I struck a line by there, then I turned it over, struck a line by here, joined the 2 together, and that's my centre line back and front. Now I know this is spot on now, and the reason for that, as well as taking my time doing it, in the middle by here there is an indexing mark, and that indexing mark is from the CNC router that produced this, and that is smack in the middle of the body. And when I drew my lines through, it goes straight through the centre of the indexing line, so I know it's spot on. I should show you now. So I don't know whether you can see it there, but I know I'm spot on with it now. So all I got to do, there's the end of my neck. My neck will actually go on from the last fret, 22nd fret. I'll line them up, and that's it. Stick him down with double-sided tape or clamp it, whatever you want to do. Route it out. I'm going to route this out to a depth of 35mm or thereabouts, 35, 34. Right, so that's the next thing we're going to do. So just whiz the round over bit on the edges all the way down. Looks okay. It doesn't take long to do that. So what I've got to do now, I just got to round these shoulders over to fit into this socket here. I just got to take a little bit of this wood out, which is going to sit underneath the pickup. So I'll just carry on with that now and see how the fit is, because I can't really try it without doing that. So this morning now we're going to attempt to put a neck angle on this neck with the new jig that I made. So I've just clamped it down to the table. I've put a block underneath there where it is, that's measuring 2.5 degrees, which is what it says in the drawing, so I think I best stick with it. I'm going to drop this on now to the adjustable table, put a clamp on it. So I can see the angle of the neck now. What I've done on my router, I've just put a piece of Perspex, which is like my little guide. I'm going to drop this on now till it touches the back end. It's going to taper off from nothing to whatever it is. It's a couple of mil. Alright, let's give it a go. And there's the angle. And that went really well. I'm pleased with that. And a new jig. Next thing job now, start carving the neck and the headstock. So see you in a bit. Take 3. Right, so the next job we're going to do is carve the neck. Do a rough carve on it first. So what I do, anybody see my channels, I don't particularly do much measurements, so mostly freehand, but really it haven't got to be particularly accurate at the moment. I strike the centre line up through the neck. From the centre line to the edge of the neck, I've striked another line. Same by here. I struck a line from about 2-3 mil off the end of the fingerboard, all the way up. Then half down. And what my aim is, first off, is to cut this facet at about 45 degrees thereabouts. Cut that facet down there, cut that one down there, and then I'll mark another one in between this one and the next line. I'll probably end up doing it with my power file and some Japanese files. And also, you will see me use it. My tubes, these plastic tubes are great for carving. There's a smooth one on there for finishing. But this is 80 grit paper on here, and it's great for the contours. So you can use any plastic pipe. These are actually tubes out of a golf bag that they had give me, and I make them up. Just glue the paper on. They're marvellous. But you can use anything, water pipe, anything. I'll catch up with it a bit now, and I've set everything up, and I start doing some carving. See you in a bit. So we've cut the both two facets down there now either side. So what we're going to do now, we're going to strike another line in the middle of each facet I've cut. Same this side. A bit wobbly. And what we're going to do now, we are going to take from the centre line to this new line we just struck. Same this side. Then we're going to take one from this edge to this edge. So we're going to cut a shallow one there and a shallow one here. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, another 4. And then we start shaping it then. So the position we're in now, that the carve is coming along nicely. I've taken a profile at about the first fret of a couple of similar construction guitars, the Les Paul Junior TV Yellow that I built. That's looking pretty good. The contour is right. It's a tad narrower by ear, if anything. And this is at the 15th, and that's very close, that is. So I'm overall, the shape of it, I'm happy enough with. So now it's just a bit of detail work. So it's just sanding. It's just sanding really. So for you, it's not so much to look at. So I'll just put it on now, and I'll see you in a little while. So it's milled down to 13mm, that is now, and the head sock veneer is about 1.8, I believe. So that should work out okay. Cut the head stock out next then, cut that out. So let's see you in a bit again. I'm just sticking this pre-cut nut down just to give me a spacer to put the headstock veneer on, because I will be making a bone nut just to hold it in place so it's nice and square. So I'm going to drill a couple of holes by here now and put a screw in it to stop it slipping and sliding about for when I glue it up. Get everything ready. Water, rag, clamps. Hope that's enough. Leave that for a few hours to go off. We'll have a little look. I'll stick that down with double-sided tape, mark it out roughly, and then I'll whiz the round around it, and that's where you'll catch me back up now. Good. So the neck is almost finished now. There's a little bit of detail work having to go on by ear, feather these shoulders in. So that's shaped now. I'm happy with that. I've sanded it to 180. I'll go over it now again, right the way around it with 240. No point showing you that. One more thing. When you're sanding, you're inevitably going to start marking the binding. So the best way to do it is do it with a blade and scrape off any tooling marks that you have. And that's it, just about done now. So with a fret nibbler now, I just taken the ends of the tangs off. The trick is with this tool is that you can't take too much off, because it tends to fold over rather than cut it cleanly. You know, some people to file or grind them off. It's about 3 rubs on the surface and take the burrs off, and that is it. You can tend to get some build up of glue from putting the binding on the ends of the fingerboard. This is a craft knife, like a little bit of an hook, so that I can pull the glue out. When I'm tapping the frets in, I try to get them as little as possible. So 3 times normally, 1 on each side and 1 in the middle. But sometimes with the binding, and there's no tang going into the binding obviously, where you nip the ends, the fret slightly kicks up a little bit. So the very end of the fret will need a little further attention sometimes. But what I find is if you keep knocking it and you work your way over and you're knocking it repeatedly by ear, you're lifting this end. So less is better. When you're putting your glue in, with some people use wood glues, I tend to use super glues. Use one of these whips. They're much more accurate when putting the frets in, when applying the glue to the fret slots. So you do it whatever way you want to do it really. There's a number of ways that you can do it. I like starting on the right hand side, work my way across and back really fast, and then the next one. And also you're cutting the frets behind your hand, but because this fret leveling file cuts so fast, I don't put no pressure on it. I just use the weight of the tool itself. I had previously checked there was one eye fret on the 4th otherwise everything else was pretty good. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to just shoot this little leveling beam over it, exactly the same. Back and forth, work my way down. So this is doing a little bit more leveling and taking the tooling off from that file. You could go straight to this if you wanted to, especially if you're fretting. It turned out really well. So that's a bevel fitted to the end of the thread. This is an homemade one. This 33 degrees, it says 30, 35, even less than I wanted. I've showed you these before. These are glass plates. They're my favourite fret leveling tools. You can use them this way if you want, with a bit of 400 grit, but I tend to use them for doing groups of frets for the final leveling. That one's got 360 grit on. This one is 400 and this one is 600. And it just gets rid of some tuning marks and does a little micro flattening of the frets as groups. So I can do 3 at a time by ear, leveling between them, or I can do 4. I've only just taken the sharp edges off the ends of the frets. I'll do them tidy after I've crowned them, or when I come to polish them. So it's just a little crowning file. It's an old one, this is rusting a little bit now. So that's just about it now. I'm going to rub a little bit of wet and dry over the top. I'll give it a final polish at the very end. I'll see you in a bit now.